on this Lexus LS430 Ultra Luxury Edition, this lock stopped working. So if I go over to the front and I lock it, you'll see that the back one didn't move. Now this happened on the front one as well, but I just recently fixed it. So I'm going to show you how to do it on this car or on the back, because I don't see any videos online of the Ultra Luxury Edition. But basically, there's this little motor that you can buy on eBay that you need to switch out. So I use a couple tools in here, notably a Torx T30 to take this part out. And then one specific thing that's different from what you see online is you also need a Torx T25 to take apart the what someone calls a lobster. It's basically the door assembly. There's something in there that needs a Torx T25 to take it apart. So the first step is to take the door panel off. So there's a total of 6 screws. There's one there, one under this, one down here, and there's 3 under this. If you can see, there's one there, and one over there. So for this top part, there's this covering. Here's the clips. It's down here, up here, and one over here. And the way that I got it out was I have this old like phone tool remover for the screen. You just put it right here and pry it out. And then for this, what you want to do is you want to pry from here, but you have to watch out because there's this lip, and I actually almost tore the leather over here, because you need to pry here, but pry close enough to this edge so that this won't get pushed towards you. You want to make sure that you push here so that this also gets pried up and doesn't hit this part. And one trick is when you pry here, you want to make sure that whatever tool you use, it can fit in here so that you can actually like push it all the way down and up. And what I did is I used this, what is it called, a shoehorn thing. Just put it in here and push up. Most people use a pry tool that you can buy on Amazon, but I didn't have that. And when you take this out, there's 2 connectors. This one you just twist out, and this one you can see you need to remove the screw, and you'll just take that out. Yep. All right, so once you have all the screws out, basically there's gonna be like some clips around here and around here and around there. There's probably like 4 clips. I haven't taken this off yet. I know in the front there was like 6 of them, and the front one was really tight. You just have to pull hard. They're plastic clips, so they could snap, but hopefully they don't. Basically what you do is you reach down here and you just pull back, and you pull back here, and then it should all come undone. And then after that, once it's all unclipped, you can see that's unclipped here, you just have to push up, like you pull out and up, making sure that this part clears. And then there's like hooks over here, and you basically just need to lift it up from there. Hardest part is right here. You need to be able to get under this, and putting it back is also a struggle there. But that's the hardest part of taking out this door card. Okay, this actually took me a lot longer than I thought. So you don't actually just remove pull the door out and pull it up. You actually have to remove this, which is where the screen is. And you can see the screen in here, right there. So what it is there's 4 clips, one up there, there's one up there, there, and there. And you can see it here, right there, and let's see. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So Lexus actually calls these claws. And then there's 2 clips. There's one here, and then there's one here. Now this was actually really hard to get out. It kind of scared me. But what I did is rolled the window down, and then I went from here. You can see that the weather stripping is still there. So I just stuck my pry tool, the same one I used for this. Stuck in here, pried this out, and then like just kind of yanked over here, and then this part kind of started coming out. And I had no idea where these clips were, so it was kind of scary. But then I just got the top out, and then I got the bottom out, and it was a lot of twisting. You can see that this clip actually stayed in here, so I need to pull this out and put it back into there. But once that's out, we should be able to just remove the door panel easily now. There's no like wiggling around, and I don't actually think it's possible to get it out with that there. I tried, and I actually managed to get these 2 hooks out, but then I couldn't even get them back in. So yeah. Okay, now we just remove the door panel. All right, with the door panel out, you can see that there are the hooks there. We just need to thread those through and then unclip these two. Unclip these two, remembering that the green one goes on the bottom and the white one on top. We basically just pull these out and then unhook it over there. And then we remove the light down there, and then we're done with the door panel. And also, while we're here, you can see these are the clips that were holding the door panel into the door. Disconnected everything, including this, which is for the light. And I can't seem to pull this out of the tab. It should just be a pull, but I pulled really hard and I still can't get it out. So I'm just gonna leave the door kind of in its place. And basically, we need to get this out. So I don't really need to fully remove that. What we're gonna do is pull this down, trying not to break it, keeping all the sticky stuff. And then we're gonna have a couple of screws to remove. We need to remove the rail here. These 3 Torx T30s. And then there's a bunch of screws in here that we need to remove. There's this nut that we need to remove, this one here, this one here. So I'll go ahead and remove it and then show you which ones I removed. All right, surprisingly the back is different from the front. So I removed this screw and these two 10mm to be able to move this window rail, because that's what you do in the front, but I still can't move this window rail. So I ended up just undoing a Torx T30 here and the 3 here. And then I just started removing this door lock actuator. And something that's different from the front is there isn't a clip that you need to undo up here, which is good because there's like no room for your hand in there. And then I also undid the window regulator because I'm trying to fit this through here. And if I can't, I could also go through there. But I had to undo the window regulator to even get this to go over here. So I'll update you on how I actually got this out. But while I'm doing this, I'm also cutting this tape so that I can move this wire more freely. All right, once you get it out, there's gonna be a screw here, and flip it over. There's a screw under this that I already removed, right under there. Once you take it out, you can go ahead and slide this off. And then this is where you're gonna need a, I don't know what size this is, a 9mm socket and a Torx T25. You're gonna hold on to it over here and here. To disconnect it, you need to hold on to both sides, which is why you need both. And I disconnected this so that I can get it out. So I can stick my tool in there. After you do that, you can go ahead and remove it. And you want to make sure that you remember that this white thing goes in the second hole. Okay. And then you should be able to just remove it by pushing this up, taking that out. And then, unless I missed a screw, oh, just kidding. You need to take these two out too before you can get it out. All right, so after disconnecting that, there'll be 2 more of them that are here. This thing was over like this. So you'll disconnect those. And then I just took this out.
Took what out?
There was one of these. I just took that out of this. You literally just like thread it through the hole. And there's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws that you take apart. And after that, this assembly is glued together, so you need to kind of pry it open. I took a tiny flathead screwdriver and I just kind of like work my way in. It's kind of hard to. I just like keep stabbing at it. My first time doing it took me like 2 hours. Make sure that you don't mess around with this area because this is all glued in and it's wiring. But basically the motor is, I think, right here. So you just need to get this open a little bit so that you can pull the motor out, put in a new one, and then you can close it back together. You don't have to glue it back together because it's screwed in anyway. And then after that, you just put it back together. All right, so after you pry it open, what I ended up doing is I had that small flathead screwdriver and we hammered it so that we could like get in, and then you just kind of pry it open. You can see the motor there. I don't want to take it all the way, I don't want to open it all the way because I don't know how this part comes undone because there's like glue and everything all around. But basically, you'll be able to pull the motor out. It's a little hard. It's fine, yeah. Yep. Pull the motor out. Right? And then take your replacement one, which is the D shaft one. Pull this off and stick it on this new one. Okay. Wait. And then, yeah, so these need to face down. There's like these contacts. This will clip it back in there. So now all we need to do is put this back in. Snaps in. Now you put everything back together. Putting everything back together is simply just doing the reverse process of what you've done. But the hardest part is sticking this thing back into the door. The first time I put it in, I didn't line up the door handle properly and it got stuck. So you have to really wiggle it around to try and get it in properly. Because I didn't tape up the window before removing the window regulator, I also have to readjust that. And you can see in this time lapse that I didn't actually finish doing that today because it got too dark. So just make sure that when you unbolt the window regulator that you tape the window up. Alright, so after putting it all back together, it's time to test it. So right now it's locked. And let's go ahead and unlock it. And it works. So does a soft close function. And let's go to the other side so you can see it lock. Let's see, you can see it there, and lock. Well, that's it. Hope you learned something from this tutorial.